Nyt sun desktop on live. Hello and welcome to Valo Entrance launch event.
Hello and welcome.
And Mika, could you please close the door?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Great. So, exciting day. My name is Sari Soinoja. I'm the product owner for Valo Intranet, Valo Extranet and Valo Entrance. And I have my colleague Mika here today.
Hello, my name is Mika Berglund.
And today we are going to talk about Valo Entrance, as you may have guessed. We have also Gökhan and Michael on the line, so if you have any questions, please use the Q&A, the question and answer functionality, or you can also send some tweets for us, and by using the hashtags #ValoWebinar and #AskValo, we will get them to the live event as well. Yes. And of course, this webinar will be recorded and it's available after the launch as well.
Okay.
And just, yep.
Have you your screen shared so I can share it into the live event as well?
Yes, just a second. There we go.
Thank you. Now we can have a closer look at that.
Yeah. So, and since we would really love to hear from you, just ask your questions, and each question will give you a chance to win some nice free Valo swag box that we are going to send for the best question. Gökhan, do you have anything you want to add?
So, part of the chat and questions and Q&A, who tweets, will be part of the raffle. So bring some excitement, bring some quality questions, and we'll make sure that you are part of the raffle.
Great.
Great.
So today's agenda. We are going to talk about how we have enabled reinventing your external collaboration and user management, and also about why it's so important and what are the challenges that there have been with external collaboration until now. And then we are going to present you the platform that we have built for Valo Entrance, showing the live demo from it, and also talk about how it's making your life as an admin and also for other roles, so how it's making your life and user management really easy. And then we will address the questions in the end, and also if there are really good questions during our presentation, we can have them there on the go as well.
Yeah.
So let's get started. First about who we are. So here at Valo, we believe that digital workday experience is the new normal, and basically every company is digital. And also what we believe in is that Microsoft is offering the best platform to build your digital workplace. There can be various aspects of it, and only one of them is the internal collaboration and communication. But there is also, in nowadays world, you have to do every day a lot of work with external stakeholders as well.
More and more all the time.
Yeah, you have projects, you have contracts, you do cooperation in many levels. And until now, we think there has been a lack of tools that you can use efficiently with.
Yeah, I think so too, because the Microsoft Cloud offering for businesses is very much geared towards internal communications and collaboration, and not so much between companies.
Yeah. But before we dig a bit deeper into that one, I'd like to tell a bit more about Valo as well. So we have been hanging around for years now, and for the last 5 years, we have been receiving quite many awards with our products. So we have the Valo Intranet that has been already in 2016 awarded as the best intranet extranet in the European SharePoint and Office 365 community. And from that onwards, we have had a lot of rewards, and you can read about those more from our website. We have for our Valo products that includes Valo Intranet, Valo Extranet, Valo Entrance, Valo Teamwork, Valo Connect, and Valo Ideas. We have more than 650 customers all over the world, and over 2 million users are using them, more than 45 countries. So we are quite widely spread. And basically, in this point, I could say that almost each sector, each business vertical are using one of or multiple of our products.
Yeah, several different kinds of sectors.
Yeah, so here are only a couple of those. But if we dig deeper into the external collaboration experience, what do you think, Mika? Which are the real challenges that you have had in your career when you wanted to collaborate and allow some access to external stakeholders or people that you work with outside your company?
Well, what I really think is that it takes a lot of effort, especially when talking about scale and scaling out. So it always is a matter of me inviting one user at a time and granting them access to one resource at a time. And that is what I think that the biggest problem we have in today's world that would prevent us from efficiently collaborating with externals. It is just one by one all the time.
Yeah. Also, what I have seen is a problem there is that if you do it, if you are a like basic user, you can invite one by one. If you are an admin, for example, in Office 365 or Microsoft 365, you can use Azure AD, but you need to be admin to use that, and then you can there use a bulk invitation method of importing a lovely CSV file that we all love.
Yeah, and yeah, you can import several users at one time, and then you can check the checkbox for each user and throw them out several at a time, but that is a bit, well. And even though you would have the bulk invitation possibility, the way you invite them is quite, I would say, I wouldn't want to use the word boring, but it's a bit simple and doesn't give much space for your company branding. Well, yeah, that of course is one aspect as well.
Yeah, because the only thing that you can basically do is to add your small logo and company name and maybe your personal name. And if you are a IT admin in some company, that's probably not the face that the external users recognize.
Yeah, and especially when we're talking about external collaboration with other, maybe even our customers or partners or something, then branding becomes very much more important. Internally, I think many can go with the fact that we can change the color and the logo and it looks like us.
Yeah.
But if you do that the same for external parties, then it's not enough. In many cases. Yeah,
you need to, because your brand, well, you have built it for years, it's important for you, and it's a sign of you. It makes what you are. So you want to show your brand.
Yes.
And with the out-of-the-box tools, you don't have a lot of opportunities to do that. And then, again, if we choose act as a basic user who has the ability to invite external users, for example, in SharePoint, well, if you invite a lot of people, the invitation that you send with an email expires usually in 30 days. So if that user, and let's face the fact, usually when you invite a lot of people, not everyone has the time to answer the invitation immediately, or they wake up like, hey, it was like a month ago. They remember that I received some message, and let's see if I still can get in.
Yeah, or it's a long project, and everybody is invited at the beginning of the project, but maybe I just come into the project 3 months later or something like that. So
then your invitation is expired, and then nobody knows what has happened, and then you need to figure things out and invite again, and it's a whole hassle. So
yeah, definitely.
There are not so many easy ways to do that out of the box. And then usually when we do project type of collaboration with external users, a project has its beginning and it has the end. And after the ending, there you might want to remove the access from the external users, because the project that has ended, everybody has got their materials, work is done, and then you want to remove the external users access because you don't want them to hang around.
Yeah.
So removing the access again manually, it's quite a heavy work.
And keeping track of all of the resources that you have been granting access to.
Yeah, it might be that if you have invited to them in one site and one Teams team, and maybe there might be something else as well.
Yeah, adding them to a couple of security groups and stuff like that.
If you have a complex environment, then you have to remove the access one by one again. So there are quite many manual steps that we figured out in the external collaboration and wanted to automate them.
Yeah.
So what we did is that we started to reinvent the collaboration and user management with our external stakeholders. So we came up with a vision of Valo Entrance. So everything we have just described, we wanted to make that easy. And of course, without forgetting the security aspect. So Valo Entrance is a tool not just for the IT admins. It's so easy to use, so simple to use that anyone who basically knows what they are doing, and like with the external collaboration, can use Valo Entrance. And you don't need to be an admin. You don't need to know how to code to be able to use Valo Entrance and make your access management for your external users easy. And what we also wanted to address is the branding. So we decided to create a beautiful looking self-service registration portal that you can brand with your own image, brand image, and then easily grant access for large groups of external users.
Yeah, many users at a time, many resources at a time.
Yeah, so not just one by one, but multiple resources, multiple people with simple few steps. And we decided, since we are experts with Valo, we are experts with SharePoint and with Azure, we decided to build it on a platform that we know and you know, and some of us even love, and that we also know that is widely used all over the world. So Valo Entrance is powered by Azure AD Security, and also it's built on SharePoint. We are also benefiting from the self-service registration portal that is in Azure website, and we are using also SendGrid for the design of for the email invitations. But let's go there a bit deeper a bit later. So what we have with Valo Entrance is this dashboard where we have these access units. So each access unit lists which resources the access unit grants access to. So basically, those resources can be SharePoint sites, Teams sites, Office 365 groups, and any types of links.
Yeah, groups in general in Azure AD, so also security groups.
Yes.
Yeah.
So lots of different types of resources in your Microsoft 365 portal. Also, access units list all the email domains and email addresses that have been invited to use the resources. So we add their emails and email domains, and those people will be able to reach those resources. And also, because not everyone who will be invited will actually sign up and register. So we will see in each access unit a list of all the individual users that have actually registered, because sometimes it happens that even though you ask someone to join, they just don't. Mm-hmm. And with access units, you don't have to guess whether or not that person has been involved. And with access unit, it's easy to invite large groups of people with email domains. Then we have the self-service registration portal, where we provide or you can provide your external users an easy way to register and log in.
And your registration means that sort of signing up. So if I am invited into an extranet or an extranet environment, a project manager or somebody else from that organization will send me a link that, hey, go to this registration portal. I will sign up there, and from that on, Valo Entrance will then take care of managing the resources for me, because I have been associated with at least one access unit. Yeah.
So you can add your company branding, your company logo there, and it will look like your portal. And because you can use the email domain for granting an access, then it's easy to just use your project managers or key account managers or customer coordinators or whoever is actually in contact with that external user every day or in every week during that project or whatever type of collaboration you have. Just to tell them that here's a link, go there, sign up, and you will get access to everything you need in this project or in this cooperation. Yeah. And then after the sign up, there will be this My Places view, where all the external users, they will see what resources they have. They can click the links and go to the places they are invited to and they need the access to. So, do you want to see in a live demo how does this look? In this point, before we go to the demo, do we have any questions there that is good to have in this point?
Yes, we have some questions. So the first one is, which version do you support, SharePoint Online or on premises? That's the first question.
Yes, we support only SharePoint Online because as for our experience, inviting external users to your on-prem environment in SharePoint is not impossible, but so damn difficult that nobody really.
And it involves a lot of network configuration and stuff like that. So Valo Entrance is built around Azure AD and automating tasks with Azure AD, and then of course then the SharePoint Online or any other service or product in the Microsoft 365 stack.
Yeah, so SharePoint Online.
Okay, thank you. A second one from Avinash. If an external user logs in, he should have all the list libraries links accessible from the home page. That means he should not need to keep track of all links separately. The auto disablement of access after expiration date. I really don't understand the question, but if Avinash can re-ask or reformulate the question, then at the end of the session I can just Re-ask. Rafael has a great one which says, is the full lifecycle of guest accounts in Azure AD covered by Valo Entrance? Can guest accounts be deleted, for example, upon expiration date or upon inactivity?
The full lifecycle is in our roadmap. We started with being able to invite people in and then removing access, and the full lifecycle comes a bit later in our release.
Yeah, meaning that we will then create functionality that would plug into those features in Azure AD. Yeah. So that we don't prevent anything or any features in Azure AD. So you can, in certain ways, you can expire user accounts, or you can have something else disable them with different policies and stuff like that. So we don't prevent that. We just automate the task of assigning guest users to resources, basically.
Yeah.
But any other feature in Azure AD, like multi-factor authentication and stuff like that, you can use that, and we don't prevent anything of that.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a lot of questions about specific domains, like adding domains, removing domains, or about permissions. But I'm pretty sure we will cover this with the demo that's coming in a few seconds. A last one, which is I think a good one to say before the demo. Does it require Azure AD premium licenses?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Basic,
okay, that's wonderful.
Basic is all what you need. Actually, you could, technically speaking, use the free version of Azure AD as well.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's it for the moment. We have a bunch of coming through. Please go for the demo, and then at the end, I will just recap with the questions as well. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Yes, great. So let's move to the demo.
All right.
And I will do it like this.
Yeah, so if we share your screen, then you start.
Yes.
Start there.
Here we go. Okay, so in this demo environment, we have an example of a Valo Leasing Extranet. So basically, this site is built on using our Valo Extranet product, and this Valo Leasing is a imaginary company in the leasing and financing business. And this is basically the extranet site where we usually want to invite our external users. And this is the Valo Entrance dashboard. So I'm wondering if I could just, yeah. So here you can see, and I will act as an admin, and Mika here will act then later on as the external user. So you can see in the demo, you can see the both sides. So here we have already some ready-made access units here that have been created before. So basically the Valo Entrance dashboard is a site built on top of SharePoint. So it's a SharePoint site. And here we have these different types of access units. And as you can see, there are two views here. There are my access units and all the access units. So as admin, the owner, Valo Entrance owner, so to say, when speaking with the SharePoint permission level terms, as an admin or as an entrance owner, I have the ability to create new access units and also see all the existing access units, and some of them that are created by me. I can see the icon here that is telling me that I'm the owner of the access unit. So if I just take one of these access units that are here, I can see that I'm using the Justin Brady account, so I'm the owner and creator of this access unit. And here I can see that I'm the only owner here as well. I have added some resources in this access unit. So a link to the Valo Leasing Extranet that I just showed you, and also some of the groups behind it. So as you know, with SharePoint, if you have a site, there are usually site permissions for that site, and behind or in those site permissions there are usually either security groups or Office 365 groups that has or give the permission to that site. So with SharePoint Online and also Teams, you have to give link to the site for the external users, but you also will give access to the group, so giving the actual permissions.
Yeah, and here in the access unit, the links are mainly there to support security groups, because as you know, a security group does not have a resource that we can link to. Yeah. Whereas, for instance, a team or a team site in SharePoint, they have a link that we can link to. Yeah. So to help with that, we have added links also to access unit, so you can add a link that will point to the resource that you are securing with the security group. Yeah.
And because it even sounds as this difficult, you might guess that there is a need for a simple tool. So here are the links and the groups as resources in this access unit. And then there are some allowed emails. So we have added the email domain of valointranet.com here. And also we have, so basically everyone who is using valointranet.com email domain can have access to these resources listed in this access unit. We have also added one individual email address here from another domain. So Brooke Gallagher has been listed here as and added here as an individual user. And then from the registered users list, I can see that I have logged in and registered for this Project Phoenix access unit, or via this access unit, and also Dan from our company, and Brooke has been there as well. So this is the actual list of people who have went through the registration process in the self-service registration portal. I could add new resources here. It's easy. You can just add new links, new groups, whatever you want to do. I could add easily new email addresses, email domains here. It's not that hard. You can just simply click, add the name and create, and I will show you quite soon how fast it is. And I could remove the existing resources. If I would decide that in Project Phoenix, the cooperation with Brooke will end, I could just remove her from this access unit. And by removing her, I would also remove all the access to the resources listed here that she has, and she couldn't no longer log in for example, the leasing extranet or the Valo leasing Teams team if she hasn't been granted access to in any other access unit.
That is important to remember that if you have several access units that specify the same resource, then you will lose access to that resource when you have been removed from all of the access units.
So because here, if you are doing multiple, if your external user or, for example, a project manager that you are collaborating with is involved with several projects, you might want to add that person to multiple access units. And to know what are all the access units that the user has access to, we have created a search that you can use for the external users, search by their name and see all the access units that that person has been connected to. So basically what the access units do is that when you add the resources there and you add the external users there, and that the access unit connects those two. So the resources with the external users.
It is kind of a mapping between resources and users, and we were using the mapping as a name for access units in the very beginning, and then we then worked on the naming, and then ended up with access unit.
And also, if you have a lot of different types of projects or whatever is the way you want to organize the access units, you have a search for them as well. So if I know that there should be somewhere a access unit for let's see, let's use the EU, European. No, there wasn't a name like that. So how about the...
if you search under all access units.
Yeah, for example, if I search for the word South, I can see that these 3 South American partners related access units that I'm the owner of. But if I search from the all access units, well, basically in this environment, I have the same results since there are no more access units with this search. And the search is looking from the access unit name and also from the access unit description. So you don't need to remember exactly what was the one thing that you were looking for. And talking about organizing the access units, there are multiple ways of doing it. It depends on your own structure and the way you handle your business. So one way is to create the access units per project. So basically each project would have their own access unit. But if you don't do a lot of projects, you can also use customers. So each customer would have their own access unit. Mm-hmm. So basically, usually then the same customer has access to same resources. So you can just create access unit, add some resources there and add the customer domain, and all of those people can then get from that company, they will get access to those resources.
Yeah. Earlier this week, I was attending a Valo Dev Kitchen where I demonstrated how you could leverage the REST API that we have in Valo Entrance as well. And there I was creating access units for every customer company for every role that I had in a sort of a makeshift CRM system. Yeah. And then I could assign then resources to everybody in a company in a certain role.
Yeah. So there are multiple different ways you can create your access units, and we don't restrict that basically in any way. The only thing we restrict that you cannot have, I believe that you cannot have access units with the same name.
Currently you can, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is not a problem.
Yeah. Well, I saw a question there about nesting access units, and currently we can't nest access units.
Yeah, currently we cannot, and this is since we have just released the product. We are gathering some feedback for the first release about what are the different types of access units you want to manage them and organize them. And if nesting is something that we will hear a lot, then we can definitely think about how we could implement that one.
Yeah, so just putting on stuff onto our backlog for future releases.
So good question, and we will definitely be thinking about that. So I will just create a new access unit right here, right now. So I will give it a name. It will be Project Rogue, and basically this access unit will give access to all the materials related to this project, and also because I want to communicate with these external users via our extranet portal, I want to give access to also do that one. And as I know that I will be the access owner, but I know that someone, I think Jack, wants to or is the project a manager in this project, I will also add him as a access unit owner.
So anybody creating an access unit will automatically become the owner of that access unit.
And here it is, and here I can see that Jack Smith is also there being the access unit owner. So the next step is to choose the resources. So like I said, I want to give access to the Valo Leasing Extranet, so I will just go here and copy the URL from the browser and just add it as a link here. So, and I may have just Valo Leasing Extranet, and basically the name and the description can be whatever you need, and just pasting the URL here. But since I know it's a SharePoint site, there are groups behind it, so I will also add the group giving access to that site. So I will add it here as well. And here we have added one extra layer of security, because using Office 365 groups, it's a really, or security groups in your Office 365 environment, it's a really powerful tool. And you might have hundreds and hundreds of groups in your, groups in your tenant. And you don't necessarily want everybody to be able to grant access to any group. So that's why we have created the rule here that you can only grant access to groups that you are owner of. So that to be able to add a group here, you need to be an owner of that group as well. Because
with an access unit, you are effectively managing the members of that group.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to just enable you to go around the security in Azure AD. So
yeah.
Sorry, you have to be an owner of a group in order to be able to add it to an access unit.
Yeah. And here, from when I typed Valo here, I can see all the security groups and Office 365 groups in this tenant that I'm owner of that has the word Valo here. And basically, since I'm using an admin account, there are quite many of them. But this one, Valo Leasing external users, will give, I know that it's connected to the Valo Leasing Extranet hub, and I know that this is the correct group. And here in access units, we cannot directly create new groups. We can only choose from existing groups. So that one, you actually creating the groups you need to leave for your.
There was actually a question about existing Azure AD groups. So that's the answer. You use existing groups.
Yes. And here I can see the group is here. But then in this project row, we have also a Teams team. So making it easier to invite people in bulks to a Teams team, you can, of course, add them as groups here in Access Unit. So luckily, I happen to have the project row here open, and I can just go to the Teams team, grab the link, get linked to the team, and add it as a.
We should add as a team.
Yeah, as a group.
Yeah, or under the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can do actually both. So I will select the, let's see, road. It doesn't find that one. Let's see if I can find the row here. It's quite a new team, so I guess it hasn't yet updated. And actually, I might not be the owner of the group. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to add it as a link. Oh, here we go. And here we have the project road as a Teams team. So then it's the time for the next step, which is allowing the emails. And in this project, I know that there will be only some individual emails that I want to add. So let's use Mika's. Did I get it right? No. Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And new email was added just like that. If I would add an email domain here, the process would be the same. Well, basically, I can just do it. Why not?
Yeah.
So I'll just add valointranet.com, if I could only spell it. Yep, here we go. And no, there is no need to worry, because when I added the domain here and the email address here, I just didn't immediately spam everyone in valointranet.com email domain with valointranet.com email address.
And neither did it send an email to me either, even if you specify that. Yeah.
We believe that that's not the way you want to do it. You don't want to, even though you want to enable everybody in specific organization to get access to those resources, you don't want to spam the whole company immediately. That's not what you want to do. So instead, I would when I have added Mika here and valoentrance.com here, I would let I don't know, who would you working with? The project manager? I would tell the project manager that, hey, you can go and tell Mika now that he has been added.
Or if you are the project manager who has access to Entrance dashboard, then you could do it yourself. But anyway, you just send me the link to the registration portal. And
so basically, this is now the self-service registration portal, and I will send Mika the link there in the meeting chat.
Yes.
And it's in the live event chat.
Yeah, and now it is time for me to share my screen.
Yeah.
And a bit of find my mouse like that. So now I will share my screen, and here we go. So now I'm on the registration portal, and before I can log in, I need to sign up, and I specify my email address. And then we have a reCAPTCHA here to prevent anybody from spamming. So now I need to pick all the tractors in this image, and I guess that is more or less all the tractors. And yes, I have read and understood the privacy policy. Now I can sign up.
And the privacy policy is basically a placeholder for a link there. And of course, you want to link the user to read your own privacy policy. So basically, the link behind that sentence can be directed to any place you choose. So that you don't have to put your privacy policy to yet another place. You can have it when you have it where you have it anyway in your website, and you can just ask for the external user to go there.
Yeah.
And also the reCAPTCHA that we are using there is to prevent the spamming, like you said.
Because you haven't logged in at that time yet.
Yeah.
Because you don't have an account, an external or guest account in that tenant. So
basically, what also the signing up does is that it activates the account that has been added to the access unit.
Yeah. So what it does there is that actually it creates the invitation as you would invite an external user into Azure AD.
Yeah.
But that invitation is created only when you sign up.
Yeah.
If you have access to any resources in Entrance.
Yeah. If that user hasn't been added to any of the access units, then there won't be any.
Yeah, it's like this message here says that if you have been granted access, then you will get an invitation.
Yeah.
This is just to make sure that people just don't go about and guess their competitors' emails or something like that.
Yeah. So I believe that you received an email.
Yes, I did. And this is what it looks like. And I will just show blocked content because this is the first time I receive email from this.
Yeah, and maybe you want to. Well, basically, you can see it from here that it's using the custom design, so it's using the same background picture from our self-service registration portal. We are having some technical difficulties here. Yeah, and also that basically you can self-define the email template. You can add any type of text and any type of action, go to actions there.
Yeah.
So
you can basically you're total control of this email and the template that you send out. And what we chose here to have is a big picture that shows the portal, so that just to make sure that the guest user knows that, okay, this is the portal that I logged into, just so that they feel comfortable that this is the right place. And
this is the place where I actually did their registration. And then the go-to action here is to take the user back to the self-service registration portal where they can log in, but also it could be used for if you don't want the user to go back to the portal and you want them to get directly to the extranet site, you could also add a link to there.
Yeah.
So
sure.
It's definitely on what you want to do.
But still, the guest user needs to complete the invitation process one time. That is just like standard Azure AD stuff, and there's but that is only one time. After that, they have a completely working guest account.
Yeah. So if you go there back to the portal,
or should I just accept the invitation here?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So by accepting the invitation, you get back to the portal.
Yes, I accept that, and then this is the standard process in Azure AD actually. And
you are sharing. Yeah. So basically, you have to accept it once.
Yeah, and this is the standard way of in Azure AD. I accept that this organization can sign me in and get this basic information about me.
Yeah.
I accept that.
And for the external users, the basic information is name, and the username and the user email that we then is shown when the external users is logged in the Office 365.
And now I'm in.
Yeah. So did you see the My Places site?
No, because that link took me right there.
Yeah.
Apparently, you have been doing something there.
Because you have already logged in in your Office 365 account in that browser session. So you don't. It's using the single sign-on. You don't have to click the sign. The login again. So it will directly take you to the Office 365. But if you want to see the sneak peek, it's on the screen behind me.
Yeah, and I can actually show or log into the registration portal as well. And I'll just switch over here. And now we're back on the registration portal where I signed up earlier. Then I go back I go back here. And now, since I have the account that I've accepted the invitation, I can log in, and this is all single sign-on stuff.
Yeah.
And now I get to the My Places page on the registration portal, listing the resources that I have access to.
So it's a bit small to me. What do you have there? You have the leasing extranet,
the project Rogue, and then I have another project Rogue, the team.
I did something there while you were demoing it, so I wanted to show you. Or show our audience how the teams will have also their own
section,
icon, section there.
And team sites in SharePoint, they would also be listed separately here.
Yeah. So basically, this list can be quite extensive. It depends on what type of collaboration you do with that external users. If you have lots of resources, the list can be quite long. And if there is only one place you want them to go, then there will be only the one link. So it depends on what you want to share with them.
Yeah, but now if I click on that team, I will get the teams.
Yeah.
And I'm just using the web app instead of the client, but that is still the same. I will get to the Project Rogue team. And then I can start collaborating with Sari.
Yeah, and since you're there for the first time, there's some team stuff to do, and then later on we can start the collaboration together.
Yeah.
Okay. So there were quite a lot of questions there I see. Let me just check my presentation if there is something we would like to...
Yeah. And now you need to share it back again.
Yeah. Yeah, but basically this was the demo part, and now we are all up and open for questions.
Okay, I have a lot of questions for you all.
All right.
I really hope that you are prepared, because we have like 10 minutes left and we have like maybe 15 questions. So
Okay.
Try to be precise and really short. And the first one, how many access units are currently allowed in Valo Entrance?
Well,
No limits.
No limits. We tested with 600 access units, and so 600, and it was still working. So I guess that's quite high amount. And we didn't reach the limit, so it can be more than 600.
Okay, second one, can I add a custom SharePoint framework web part on the entrance place as well to display custom information?
If you mean the registration portal, then no, that is an ASP.NET Core application. But on any SharePoint site that you share through Entrance, you can do whatever you want on that SharePoint site and on the pages.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, for using Valo Entrance with standard SharePoint online sites, customer does not need Valo Intranet to use Valo Entrance. No,
the Valo Entrance can be installed as a standalone product to any Office 365 environment or SharePoint online environment. So no other Valo products is needed.
No.
Okay, next one. When will you be able to select an access unit when you request or create a new team in Valo Teamwork?
That's
a great one, actually. That's an excellent one.
Yeah,
yes,
that is a great question. We have definitely that in our plans. Unfortunately, I don't have a date for that yet, but please please stay tuned, and we will tell as soon as we get to start implementing that.
Yeah, but integrating between Teamwork and Entrance is very much on a topic that we've been talking about a lot.
Yeah.
And it sort of comes naturally to integrate Entrance with Teamwork, and different kinds of scenarios where you could, for instance, say that these people will get access to any team in Teamworks with this category or stuff like that. So yeah.
Or create this Teamwork item there, and then also create at the same time
an access unit and specify this email domain and stuff like that. So yes, that has been we've been talking about that, and it will come in the future.
Thank you so much, Richard. That was a great question. Another great question from Thomas. Can Entrance be integrated with Valo Intranet? An example, so give access to some parts of Valo Intranet via Valo Entrance. As an example, the navigation of Valo Intranet should not be shown for specific Entrance users.
Because that's you can take Valo Intranet and take specific sections or sites from it, share them or enable them to be shared externally, and then add users, give access to those sites with Valo Entrance. That if the mega menu is there, it's then really not a question about Entrance. It's more a question about how you will configure your Valo sites without showing the mega menu. So it's
the Intranet cannot differentiate between users who have been granted access through Entrance and users who have been granted access in a traditional way.
Internal users.
Yeah, so that has to be figured out in the product. But otherwise, as Sari said, selecting certain sites within that intranet can be added to an access unit and then specify external users.
It's only a matter of which permissions you give to that site for your external users, and making sure that you don't give accidentally access to every other site in your intranet as well. Well, that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, is it possible to archive an access unit, and with that, all users of that access unit will be deactivated? And can we re-enable that?
At the moment, we don't have in the first version, we don't have the archiving possibility. We have only removing the whole access unit and all the access with it. But that is definitely something we are thinking about, the archiving possibility.
I even think that we have that on our backlog as well already. A feature, either it was about archiving or then expiration.
Both.
But the end result is the same.
Yeah.
If it's archived or if an access unit expires, then any resources that have been granted access to through that access unit they will be revoked.
Yeah. Next question.
Okay, cool. I have a few questions about reporting, but I will try to consolidate all of them. So the question is, I'm the owner of an access unit and my user gets deactivated. How will IT get to know that there is an owner missing for a specific access unit? Will there be any reporting such as Power BI coming on access units?
At the moment, we haven't that much discussed of like adding Power BI there. We have been discussing a list of access unit owners, and basically the access unit owner is the one who knows that someone is missing from the access unit.
No, what I understood that question was that if I am the only owner of an access unit and my account gets either deleted because I move to another company or just otherwise locked out or something, then
that's the question.
There's no one managing that, and we don't have that any support for that currently.
No, because if you add someone as a Valo Entrance owner, then you have the possibility.
A Valo Entrance owner is kind of a global admin.
Yeah, global admin. Yes. So basically, then all the Valo admin owners can add themselves as a new access unit.
Yeah, they are implicitly they are owners of all access units.
Yeah. There are also what I forgot to mention, that there are also access unit members that are able to create access units and edit only the access units they are owners of.
Yeah.
So there are two types of
owners and members, and members have a more limited access to what they can do.
Okay, a question from Labinot. Can or is the self-service registration portal based on specific domains?
What do you mean exactly?
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that either.
So I'm gonna maybe repeat the question. If not, Labinot, if you're still there, you can reformulate the question. So the question is, can or is the self-service registration based on specific domains? So that's the question.
Oh, yeah. So you mean if you can restrict access to the registration portal?
I think so. Like if you don't want to have a specific domain to register on your website, can you restrict that?
We don't have support for that in Entrance, but in Azure AD you can blacklist certain domains.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically just not adding those to the access units.
So we don't prevent you from currently. We are talking about how we would integrate those blacklisted domains from Azure AD into Entrance, so that we would bring them up and some kind of a user interface. But if you blacklist a domain in Azure AD, even if you specify that domain in an access unit or a user with that email address is signing up, they will not get a guest account because that has been blacklisted in Azure AD.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then I will take 3 more questions and then I think we will stop. There is actually a remark, I think it's not a real question, from Richard Franson. It mentions if a guest has access to multiple access units, who owns the user data and thus is responsible for maintaining the correctness of info, review of access, and GDPR. I don't think that's a question. I think it's a remark, but if you want to comment on that, feel free to go.
Well, the responsibility would, at the end of the day, would be the company hosting the
Valo Entrance
and the company who is sort of owning the Azure AD tenant that Valo Entrance is connected to.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
What you basically can think of is that even if without Valo Entrance, you would still have external user or guest users in your tenant. And then you would think of who is responsible for these things in that case. And with Valo Entrance, it would be the same.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 minute left, so 2 final questions. The first one from Eftimis. Can Valo Entrance be used for giving access to external partners for live events?
Not at the moment, no. But we are monitoring the situation, how it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a live event is yet not reachable from Azure AD.
Yeah, we are, well, it is connected to maybe a bit bigger subject about events and virtual meetings and stuff like that. So how we could enable something towards that kind of scenarios in Valo Entrance, and but we would be glad to hear more about the specific needs and how we could support them.
Okay, and then the last one, the most important one, what about the licensing model of Valo Entrance?
Yes, well, there is a lot of information in our partner hub, so you can connect your local partner and ask about it. Basically, there is a licensing price for Valo Entrance that is depending on the amount, the maximum amount of the external users that you want to invite with Valo Entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
Since there are 5 tiers, I'm not gonna state all the prices here with each currencies.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Well, I think I tried to give you all the questions that I thought would be great to answer live. We are done. We hit the hour of our live event. So thank you so much, Mika, Sari. You have been doing a tremendous work. I learned a lot. So do I that the audience did as well learn. With that being said, I'll leave the last words for you and then we'll just finish the live event.
All right.
So thank you so much for all of you who attended, and thank you for your excellent questions. And hopefully from our website, hopefully we will hear more about you, and from our website you can find more information about Valo Entrance and from our Valo partners as well. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, and have a nice rest of the week and weekend.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye-bye.